Hi everybody and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I feel strange saying the Apostate Prophet right now because I don't want to be sarcastic in this video. I don't want to joke around. I don't want to preach. I don't want to share information. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to take a moment and just be a little bit personal, a little bit honest. Talk about belief. The issue is I have been quite inactive recently since the whole lockdown started, I guess. I don't know when I started. Honestly, I have been inactive for such a long time. It wasn't just the lockdown. In 2017 and 2018, I was constantly doing something, constantly working, putting out new things. Then at the beginning of 2019, things started getting weird because I suddenly had anxiety and panic attacks. And I had constant debilitating anxiety. I had to be medicated, go to therapy and all that. So, I don't know, everything has been kind of weird since then. I was thinking to myself, 2019 was a horrible year. It couldn't possibly be worse. And then 2020 comes and says, hold my beer. God, now I'm speaking in memes. Anyway, the last few months I've had a lot of time with myself, just thinking things through. And I've been thinking about life and the meaning of life a lot. And if you know me, you know that I'm technically an atheist. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in gods and religions and creation and all the supernatural stuff. But I'm also not preachy, not aggressive with my atheism. So I don't really care if people believe in God or not, and if religions are around or not. And in fact, I appreciate religion very much because I have been studying it very much and empathizing with it all the time. The only religion that I simply cannot stand is Islam. And there is no denying to the fact that I have a very personal issue with it too. If you come out of being oppressed and threatened by that religion, you simply do have problems with that religion. I'm sorry. But anyway, getting back to what I actually want to talk about. So recently I've been thinking a lot about the meaning of life. I was hit by some form of depression because I couldn't get a haircut. I'm just kidding. It wasn't because I couldn't get a haircut. Wouldn't that be funny? I can't get a haircut. Look at this. What is there left to live for? No, come on, seriously. For quite a while now, I've been living my life based on the idea that everything we do for ourselves. And I combine that with the idea that I should treat others the way I would like others to treat me. The golden rule, I'm not very far from Christianity. And I have been thinking it makes complete sense to live life based on mutual egoism and empathy. I thought you can only be happy if you care about yourself and you care about others. And you just keep caring about each other and fulfill each other. I actually do believe that is how humanity has come this far. But I have also been thinking about living for future generations, living for my children, living for other children, for others, to make life better for the people in the future. The problem with all this is that I essentially know, as many atheists often don't want to openly admit, that I am just making these rules for myself in order to live better and in order to be happy, in order to avoid depression and in order to avoid the truth that everything is essentially meaningless. The acknowledgement that everything is essentially meaningless, that there is no natural objective meaning to anything, is a very amazing, a very great, a very freeing, emancipating idea. But at the same time, it is also very depressing, especially when you have these moments and when you are confronted with the fact that everything is naturally meaningless, but that you only impose meaning onto everything because you want to be happier. But mainly because it works. Just say it, you idiot. This is just me editing and calling myself an idiot because I didn't say the most important thing that I should have said in that moment. This is what I do. While I edit this video, I just speak in between and call myself an idiot. That's what I do with my life. I'll stop here and just let you listen to the rest of what I'm saying before I make myself on the screen angry at myself who is editing. Wait, do you see the gray hair at the side of my head? I'm getting old. Okay, I'm gone. When you look behind the screen and you see that you are just making up your own meanings and that everything is essentially meaningless, sometimes it just gets hard to deal with that. And in such moments, I think I would love to believe in God. In fact, just recently, I was listening to music. I love Leonard Cohen, who's a fantastic musician, in my opinion, and I love his music. And as I was looking through his songs, I came across the song "Thanks for the Dance," and I just looked at the title. I didn't even listen to it, and I thought a bit deeper about it. This guy is dead. "Thanks for the Dance" probably means thanks for life. Thanks for being able to live and to have the dance. And now I'm off the stage and I'm dead. And I kept thinking deeper about this, and I thought, life is amazing. Life is beautiful. No matter how terrible it gets, no matter how hard it gets, the life itself is amazing. And I would love to be able to say thanks for the opportunity of life. I would love to say thanks and express my gratefulness that I have been able to live a life. The problem is I don't believe in any origin, in any creator of life. So there is really no one or nothing that I can say thank you to, but I would just love to say thank you because life is beautiful itself. That combined with the meaninglessness and hopelessness of life, and the anxieties of life, the hardship of life, sometimes really makes me think, I wish I had never come to the conclusion that there is no God, and I wish I had just kept believing in God. And I then understand how many people, when I say that I have anxiety, for example, tell me I should just believe in God and my anxiety would go away. And I even agree with them to certain extents. Maybe if I did believe in God, if I truly believed in God and had devotion, and I know myself, if I did believe in God, in any God, I would be fully devout. I would be fully devoted to living out my belief, to staying very true and loyal to it, to really practicing it the best way I can. If I did that, maybe I wouldn't have the same depressions and I wouldn't have the same anxiety. I do agree with that completely. The problem is that doesn't really mean that the certain God that I choose to believe in is true and that he is helping me. All it means is that believing that there is a meaning to life and believing that there is a God who helps me, who stands with me, who supports me, whom I live for or who I submit to. This idea that this belief in God simply makes me feel better about life because I then suddenly don't have to worry about how hard life is and how meaningless it is because I'm living for a specific purpose. Honestly, that's what I liked about being a Muslim, for example, that my life had a meaning. No matter how horrible it was, it had a meaning. So, yeah, there are some moments where I really think I wish I believed in God. I wish I was blissful. I still think I'm completely right about the idea that there is no God and that there is no creator. But I think I wish I had never come to the realization that there is no God and no creator, because life could have been more blissful. I wouldn't have done all the things that I can now freely do with my life, that I can now enjoy, and all the progress that I can be interested in and strive for. But I would at least be content the way I am. The problem is that I only think this way when I'm kind of depressed and when I'm anxious and when I am in stress about the problems, the hardship of life. Normally, I'm not like that. Normally, I feel like there is absolutely no reason for me to believe in God. Because on the contrary, life has been so much better ever since I stopped believing in a deity. I did a lot of fulfilling things. I've started living a very good life and started living life the way I always wanted to live life. I can live up to my potential and do all the things that I think I am capable of. There are no barriers, no boundaries in my mind, and I can think everything through, can accept and reject any idea that is there. Be engaged in complete introspection, in a complete questioning of every position, every idea that I have. And I feel like that is the greatest pleasure in life, to always look at myself and think, am I right about this or am I wrong about this? That, I think, is the greatest thing to do in life. I mean, some people might think that's so nerdy, and how do you enjoy that? I would rather go enjoy concerts, whatever. But seriously, this is, I think, the greatest pleasure in life that I have. And if I didn't have that, I would feel sad. I would feel repressed and angry. And I did feel so when I was a practicing faithful Muslim. Speaking of concerts and speaking of music and pop culture, I do think that this meaninglessness of life bothers so many people who don't even want to admit it, which is why people tend to do all these entertaining things, like listening to garbage music, playing great video games, being so engaged with pop culture, all the stuff that is going on TV and on YouTube, all the kitschy, colorful stuff. People do most of that stuff because they want to distract themselves from the reality of how tough life and how meaningless life actually is, and how you impose meaning onto yourself and onto your life. Which maybe is not too bad. The thing is, I feel like if I had been born into a culture or into a family where no one believes that there is a God, or no one believes that a certain religion is true, life would have probably been a little bit easier for me. Since I was born into Islam and I was brought up by Islam and tortured by Islam and indoctrinated by the awfulness of Islam, I feel like the rest of my life has been in a way ruined. And I don't want to say this, but it is true. In a way, I feel like many of us ex-Muslims are damaged because our entire life has been so brutally built on the idea that we live for this and everything that we have is for this. Leaving Islam means betraying your nation, your country, your people, your brothers and sisters, your relatives, your family, your children, everything. Getting out of that and suddenly starting to live like there is nothing is just very tough. Anyway, long story short, at times I really wish there was a God. But then I also know exactly why I wish there was a God and why I wish I believed in God. The thing is, I think it is impossible for me to believe in God or for people like me to believe in God, especially if you have gone through so many years and so much questioning and thinking and skepticism, and you have really established your reasons, your ideas, why you don't believe in God, why there is no God. Then the question of God itself becomes very trivial and meaningless. I am currently at such a stage where I'm not a fierce atheist and I say, no, God doesn't exist. I'm at such a state where I rather say the question of whether God exists or not is completely meaningless because the word God itself doesn't really have a meaning. We simply gave meaning to that word which we created, which means the whole question of God is irrelevant. And I would really like to debate people to see how right or how wrong I am. I often don't want to do this. Debating this topic in public is a little bit problematic because it always becomes a spectacle. It's like when two people debate such an idea like this, such a fundamental, such a great idea like this, like whether there is or there is not a God, then it becomes a public spectacle, a battle, a sensation. And I don't want to do that. I would love to sit down and debate with people simply to see where I stand, how good I am in that, how much I have really thought it through, what I can add to the discussion, what the other person can add to the discussion. I would really love to have a serious, honest, personal debate with people about this. The issue is I cannot have debates with Muslims because Muslims simply cannot stay factual, cannot stay topical. They cannot stay true to the topic. The problem is that Muslims are not unable, they are unwilling to do that. I would rather debate with a Christian apologist, for example, because I see that Christian apologists are worlds ahead and are more able to have actual discussions, have factual, logical discussions around the idea of God. I still fundamentally disagree with them, and I think that their logic is flawed because I believe that a religion comes with boundaries that don't allow you to fully logically argue something through. But I do think that many of them have great insights and great positions on the existence of God or the non-existence of God. I don't know if there's anything that I wanted to add to this talk. I might later add on more to this flow, this whole stream of thoughts. For now, I want to end it here. I want to thank everybody. I want to say I completely understand why you believe in God and completely understand why you don't believe in God. I probably will never believe in God. And at times I feel sad about that. At other times I feel quite great about that and fulfilled about that. Life is tough and life is also great. Soon I want to finally publish. I promised this forever and never did it. But soon I finally want to publish the reasons why I don't believe in God. So if you are interested in that and if you want to confront me, call me out, invite me to your perspective, discuss it with me and all that, stay tuned for that. It will come soon. Other than that, I will be back with more videos. I'll get back to speaking about Islam. I have some funny stuff on my mind. I'm also studying, by the way, and the semester is over now, so I will have more time. Thank you so much for listening. Have a fantastic day and stay away from Islam.